Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. I salute to Sadguru, the Supreme Guru Satchidananda, who is Govinda. Govinda, name of God, Krishna, Supreme God, and also Govinda was his own Guru. Shankaracharya's Guru's name was Govinda, and when he asked about Guru about getting initiation, he said, I was waiting for you. You had lived many years and he was waiting for Shankaracharya to come and take initiation. He was only 8-9 years old boy. And you know the story how Shankaracharya got permission to become a sannyasi? You know that story?
No.
You don't know?
No.
Let me begin that one.
Yeah.
Shankaracharya had a very mood of like sannyasi from the very childhood. He was a avatar of Shiva, they say. He was born with a lot of Shiva qualities. Very brilliant and he was unattached to this world. So he wanted to become a monk at a very tender age of 6 or 7 years. That time he was full of knowledge. And he requested his mother, please give me permission to become a monk. And who mother can give, go away? His mother, and mother was widow. His father was already dead. He was not living. Shankaracharya's father was not there. And mother said, how can I let you go? So no, that can't. So mother will not let go, and son wants to embrace monasticism, wants to become a monk. And then one day what happened? Shankaracharya was taking bath in the river nearby, just in front of, a little away from his house. Mother was nearby. And when he went to the river, one crocodile caught his leg. And it started dragging. He cried out to mother, Mother, give me permission to become a monk, otherwise I will die. I will sure to die. Now mother saw, if I don't give him permission, crocodile will kill him. If I give permission, maybe he will die, he will leave. And he said, okay, before was the condition that at the last, when Shankaracharya had said, during your last time, mother, I will come to you. Wherever I may be, I will come to you for your last day, last time. So mother finally had to recourse to give permission. Yes, okay, now you give me permission to become a sannyasi. As soon as the mother uttered this word, the crocodile left and Shankaracharya came. You know the story how this becoming a monk is like a new life. That's why we often don't say our life before our monastic order. We say where we join, and after that when we become a monk. But we don't say where we are born and what we did before being a monk. We don't say anything. So because it's like a new life for us. Shankaracharya also, because he became a monk means his old life was finished, he became a new life, and that's why crocodile didn't eat up, so he was saved. Now after getting permission to become a monk at the age of 8, now he wants to go to find a guru. He found there is a very venerable guru in Shankaracharya, quite far in Madhya Pradesh from Kerala. He walks all the way to his guru. He was living in a cave. His name was Govinda Pada. Shankaracharya is one of the Jyotirlingas in Madhya Pradesh near Indore. And then he goes in a cave. He was there almost towards the fag end of his life. When he came, then he said, yes, can I have your mantra from you? Can I have diksha from you? Yes, for that I am waiting, otherwise I have to give this body. All this was divine plan. So he gets the initiation from his guru, whose name was Govinda Pada. So in this book here, in the first verse of the Viveka Chudamoni, he says, I salute to Paramananda Govinda, who is the supreme bliss. That Govinda I salute, by meaning that he salutes to God and also to his guru. You know, everything, Sri Guru Pyo Nama, we all start from saluting to our Guru. Because Guru is the one by whose grace we want to see the light of truth. And he said, how is the Guru? He is Paramananda, supreme bliss, always blissful, and Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam. And he understands the basis of all Vedanta Siddhanta. What Vedanta want to say, that all my Guru understand. To such Guru, I bow down. Tam agochar, gocharam, tam agocharam. The God who is agochar, who is beyond our senses. But he is again gochar. Gochar means where, go means here senses. Go always doesn't mean cow. Go sometimes means earth, Go sometimes means senses. So gochar means where senses can catch. Agochar means which is invisible. I bow down to Paramananda Govinda, who is Agochar as well as Gochar, who is caught by, he is beyond the senses and yet can be realized through pure mind. To that Govinda I bow down. And he starts writing about this great book. This great book has many things. First, it says the glory of human birth. It's very hope-giving, you see. People say this realization of truth, which is beyond body and mind. You see, we can only perceive what is visible, what we can touch and see and hear, like our body. But God, which is not seen, not heard, how can we believe? That's why someone asked, what is the proof that there is next life? What is the proof that there is God? So it's very difficult to have proof as we have the proofs of the things of the objective world. You know, in the objective world, you have the objects you can prove. This God is subject. God is our own self. So as it is a subject, it's very difficult to find the subject unless you find yourself. So that's why it's difficult to prove God. But God is the basis of our own self. He is our closest to our own self. In fact, He is one with our own self. If you go on searching God, you will find Him here. If you go on searching yourself, you will find yourself in the same place. And knowing that the God and I, the real person, are one and same being. So it is difficult to have the proof. But to think that how it can we realize that proof, we can see only this thing, I have less intellect. Shankara says, no, being born as a human being is a great blessing. You can achieve anything. You can achieve even God. Forget about achieving your other worldly things, it is much easier. So when you have passed big exams, you have passed many tests, so if you try with that intensity, you can also realize God. So Shankaracharya is beautiful, that verse. It says there are three things very difficult to have, to achieve. And we all have achieved those three things. What are those three things difficult to achieve? And yet, we all have achieved that. Durlabham trayamevaitat deva nugraha hetukam. And that these three things can be achieved only by the grace of God. We are all graced. What are these three things? Shankara says, verse number 3, Manushyatvam, Mumukshatvam, Mahapurusha Sansraya. These three things. First is Manushyatva, being born as a human being with human quality. You see, only being born as a human being may not be human being. We may be like Asura, we may be like animal. If we are too selfish, injuring others, we are not human beings. Human beings with human qualities is Manushyatva, being born as human beings. All we are assembled here are human beings. We don't want to injure others for nothing. We want to have dignified human life and we want to work hard. This is all Manushyatva. We want to do good to others. That's all Manushyatva. So this Manushyatva that we have been born into is by the grace of God, and it is very durlabh, very rare, difficult to achieve. You know that according to our Puranic description, which many may believe, many not believe, there are 84,100,000 species. And to get this human species, human birth, we had to cross through the 84,100,000 species, and then we get the human life. Very precious life is the human life. With all great tapasya, we have been evolved right from amoeba to different creatures, to worms, to animals, and now we are human beings. We have succeeded a lot. We have achieved a great instrumentality. We have this developed intellect. We have feeling in the heart. So this human life is great. We are already have got great things with great possibilities. Swami Ranganathananji says, the spiritual progress is the manifestation of human possibilities. Being born as a human, having little human qualities as a human, and trying to become perfect is still greater possibility. And all of us can do. One great blessing of the God. There are three greatest gifts of God. One is the human life. That itself we got. Next great life is Mahapurusha Samsraya. It means company of great person. Mahapurush, holy man. What does it mean? Having a great guru in your life who teaches you how to go beyond this samsara, This samsara that we live in, this material world, as someone was saying, is really a place of lot of difficulties and problems. If we are always immersed in this samsara and can't think of anything beyond that, there is no peace and happiness here. It's all competition, comparison, worries, anxieties, tension, hypertension, all these things only we'll find. To get beyond this, we'll have to go think beyond that. And thinking beyond that is being spiritual. Thinking yourself as the spirit, as immaterial, thinking of God, that makes you really spiritual. Going beyond the thoughts of daily thoughts of the world. Oh, what that person needs, how much I earn, whether I will pass. Always immersed in that becomes samsara. So my peace, there is no never satisfaction in the world. You have to go beyond that to have satisfaction, little peace. Okay, doesn't matter like that. Always you try to think how much people suffer from jealousy. So that is to go beyond that is spirituality. To be always in that is materialism. So second is association with holy person. First is Manushyatva, second is Mahapurusha Samsraya. Having company, somehow you have come in contact with a holy man, somehow you have contact with a holy book, you read Kathamrita, you have liking for gospel, you have liking for Bible or any other, you feel that there is God and God is the one who takes our care. This life is not that great to be thought of everything of this is this life human, this life alone. So everything is governed by the grace of God. Somehow being connected with divine, with the spirit is done by the Mahapurusha, association with Mahapurusha. That's called Mahapurusha Samsara. Great thing, by the grace of God alone we can have that. Shankara said the third thing that can be done by the grace of God alone. What is that? Mumukshutva. The word means desire to be liberated, desire to be perfect. That is called Mumukshutva. How much we want to progress in as a human being. I want to be a perfect human being. I want to be such a human being which doesn't hate anyone. I want to remove all jealousy from my heart. I don't want to hate anyone. I want to love even those who harm us, who are inimical to us. Don't we feel that way? That I want to have so much love in my heart that nobody is excluded in that. Let me overcome these small people who say some word, something, who are really don't like me. But may I like everyone. May I love everyone. When we say that, we want to be perfect. That's the way towards perfection. When we try to love everyone, to like everyone, don't hate anyone, don't have jealousy to anyone, that is the growth towards perfection. And that we can call Mumukshutva. Mumukshutva is desire to be free. Mukti Icha is called Mumukshutva. And what is bondage? Bondage are this impurity, these weaknesses. Oh, you want that you can't do. I want to be free from greed, but somehow this greediness comes, somehow this attachment comes, somehow this hatred comes. You want to be free from all those. Somehow there is feeling that, oh, he's not mine. I want to make the whole world my own. I want to feel one with the whole universe. That is called Mumukshutva. And finally, I want to know the truth. I want to know myself as the spirit. I want to realize Atma. I want to realize God. I want to see God in everyone. That is the ultimate freedom, when we don't see a person as the person, but we see God residing in the heart of everyone. When we can really see, not think that there is God. We often forget to think also. That is forgetfulness. When I say the forgetfulness, that was not to be forgotten. That was one thing to remember, that God is present in everyone and He never changes. So when we have a little wish to see God in every heart, that is Mumukshutva. So it is evolution of our own self from this small thing. And to understand that myself as the Atma, all powerful, immortal, all blissful, that I am being, that's called Atma, my real nature. I am of that nature, and by mistake, I have come to this bondage to think myself in the body and think I will die and I don't like death and I'm getting old. I am not getting old. I am as I am. I never change because I am Atma. I am the self. I never change. I am always blissful. this mind changes, this body changes, something that I am not that changes, something that is world that changes, and I think I am changed. Misidentification, wrong identification. I want to get rid of this wrong identification. That is mumukshutva. And these three things can be had only by the grace of God. Daiva nugraha hetukam. That Shankaracharya says. He says the glory of human birth. In some of the verses he says the human, the male body, having got the male body because according to circumstances, and say some say the Brahmin body because those are the ones who used to practice that time. But those are not relevant today. Now everyone has the equal right, not during his situation, but during that time also. One of the verses he says, human body, association with the holy person, and a desire to evolve, desire to be free, it can be had only by the great grace of God. Daiva nugraha hetukam. And we all are graced by God to have these things. Now, how much intensity we have for our evolution, spiritual evolution, that depends on us. How much we give priority to the spiritual matters, it depends on us. The more we do, more we will be happy in life. When we got this human life, it is supposed to be, we will be always happy. Always, nothing will make us unhappy. Nothing will make us fearful. We'll be fearless, strong, happy. But what is impediment is that our ignorance, our identification with the body. Viveka Chudamoni will say again and again, you are not the body, you are not material, you are the spirit, you are self, you are Atman, that is whose nature, very nature is bliss. You don't have to be joyful. Your very nature is joy. So if you can be with your nature, joy is your thing, very nature. There can be no other thing. There is no ignorance, there is no hatred. What is the nature of Atma? It is bliss, it is love, it is knowledge, it is eternity. It always is there. There is no death for us. Just understand that you are there. Whole spiritual practice is to understand I am that self. That's what Viveka Chudamoni Shankaracharya will emphasize again and again. Try to understand who you are. That question I was asking, the 4 questions: who I am, what is the nature of the world, who is God, what is my relationship with God and the world. So if I can realize myself as the Atman residing in this body, ever-changing body, the unchanging Atman, then my relation with the world is that everything here is the object. This body is object, another body is object, everything is object. I am the subject who impels my mind to work, who impels my senses to work, who impels my organs to work, and I am there residing as witness, unaffected by anything that happens in the world. What happens? My headache, not my headache, it is the headache of this body by misidentification. I think as it is mine. I cannot have any headache because I am not the body. Headache belongs to the body. This discrimination between my true self and this body is what will be emphasized by Shankara again and again. Now let's go to another verse. Verse number 6.
But is not that body is my sufferings? Even we know.
Yeah, when you understand your true self and you can detach from the body, then suffering of the body will not be your suffering, and this has been found in many saints. Swami Shivananda used to suffer a lot, even Sri Ramakrishna used to suffer a lot, but he used to be so happy. Cancer, can you imagine cancer that time? And there was a hole in the throat, and there was very painful. Food used to come out from the throat, and Sri Ramakrishna was happy as ever. Holy Mother says, I never saw Sri Ramakrishna unhappy. He was so much joyful, like Futi Phata Ananda, like a cucumber plant from which the seeds just come out, like that the joy used to come out from him. Even in that terrible pain, he was always joyful. Sometimes he used to say, oh, my hand is broken, oh, when it will be cured. But when he brought his mind to this body, but when he could withdraw mind from the body, there's no problem. Someone used to ask Swami Shivananda, Sri Ramakrishna direct disciple, Swamiji, how are you? During his old age, he had asthma and his breathing difficulties, lot of pain. And he said, I am good, but body is suffering. And Sri Ramakrishna used to say to people, let this body and pain take care of themselves. I let my mind you be just joyful. So distinguishing, discriminating, discerning between the body and my own self, that is Viveka. I am not this body. Denying the body as myself. Body, at least how much you identify the body, body as my instrument, my covering, my cloth. One Swami used to say, Swami Yogatmananda very nicely, he says, as we wear clothes, and when we come home, we put out the clothes and put it on the hanger. Can you do mentally take out this body, unzip it, and put it on the hanger, and just keep out the body and be yourself, the true self, without body. You have no body. Can you think that way? Can you meditate on yourself bereft of the body? This whole physical structure is gone, and you are the true self sitting, no body. If you can do that, all pain will go to the body. Nothing will happen. Someone comes and touches the body, doesn't matter at all, because you are not the body. That is the true knowledge. I am not the body. Then who am I? Am I is reality or not? I is the real reality. Once Janaka was dreaming. Janaka the king, great king of a time, very wise king. He dreamed that he had become a beggar. And he had been driven out of the kingdom. He was begging the food, nowhere food to be found, walking tired, sweating, very weak. Somehow he found a food, a morsel of food someone gave, and he was going to have that. He said he stood behind the queue and everyone ate, and when he reached there, everything finished. So little was left that person gave. It's all in the dream. King Janaka, Emperor Janaka sleeping on his bed, royal bed, dreaming he has become a beggar. Nothing is there. And when he was drinking that little whatever was left and the food, and one bird comes and strikes and whole goes down. Nothing there. He starts crying. Then he wakes up. Finds he is a king. He is sleeping. But the dream was so vivid, so real. Now he had a question. Is that true or is this true? That was his question. The king is not getting up from the bed, and people came, and first the sentries came and asked, not time to get. Is that true or is this true? That was his question. Then the sentry went to the queen and said, the king is, what happened to queen? King, I don't know. He got up and he said, is that true or is this true? Queen comes, Lord, what about getting, and now court will be there. Is that true or is this true? Now he wants to know whether the beggar he had become was the true experience or he has become king. That is true. Because dream was so vivid, so clear, so intense. Which one is true and which one is dream? Not able to understand. Then it was a big problem for the thinking. Has gone out of head, it seems. They can't understand that he had such vivid dream. And finally there was one rishi called Astavakra Rishi, who was bent at 8 places, very abominable looking, very wise person of the time, wisest person of the time. Astavakra Samhita, there is one book by him. So Astavakra Rishi, wise, famously known, he was invited to the king. King was also wise. And Astavakra said, what happened, Janaka? Why aren't you getting up? Why are you in bed? Lord, you have come, but I have one question. Is that true or is this true? He said, what is the story? He heard all the story. And he says, when you are king on a royal bed, are you a beggar? He said, no. And when were you beggar? Were you the king, Janaka? He said, no. Then what is true? He said, that is also not true. This is also not true in the final sense. Truth is something that has to remain same forever. Whatever changes is not true. Dream is true when we are dreaming. But when we come out of dream, broken, finished, dream is not true. That's why we call it is not true. Whatever is impermanent is not true. True means permanent. True means abiding. True means always same. That's why we say, tell the truth. Means that will be permanent. If you make some story, that will change. That never happened. It is false. It is untrue. Truth will always be there. I have seen that person walking on the road. If I have really seen that, I have seen, that is truth. That will not change. If I have not seen and I make some other story, then it will change. No, actually I didn't see him. That will come. Because it was not true, it is not there. It will change. Truth will not change. So he said that is also not true. This is also not true. That is already broken. This is not there. Doesn't exist. This will also be not there. When you die, what is there? This is also untrue. Then Janaka was a wise person. Then he said, then what is truth? That is also not true. This life also not true. Dream also not true. Is there truth or not? He said, yes, there is truth because you are true. When you were a beggar, then you were there. When you were a king, that you are here. King is not true, but you are true. When you go and get next life, you will be true. That I is the truth. It will never go, I is the realization. If I say, no, you don't exist, you are not there, you will not agree. I feel, I experience that. I am the truth. That I, what that I is, that is the only search of the scripture. We say, try to find out what that I is and what is the nature of that your real I, which doesn't change. Everything else that surrounds, whether you are a beggar or a king, it changes, it is untrue. It is just for the time being. Untrue means it is temporary. When you are in dream is verily true. So, in this verse, he says about the glory of verse number 6. Vadantu shastrani yajantu devan kurvantu karmani bhajantu devata atmaikya bodhena vinapi mukti nasiddhyati brahma satantari. I want to get rid of all this ignorance. I want to really know who am I in reality. But how to know that? We are in deep ignorance. We are bound by this material world. Our Atma, though omniscient, ever all-knowing, that seems to be in deep ignorance, which seems, it can never be in ignorance because it is of the nature of knowledge. So he says, you can vadantu shastrani, you can speak lots of scripture and give excellent exposition and explanation. That will not help in finding the soul. That can be done. Understand the Shastras, give a wonderful talk, and give fantastic. You may give that. That doesn't help. Yajantu Devan. Of course, if Shastras don't help explaining the Shastras, then what about sacrificing for God? That is Yajantu Devan. Yajantu will sacrifice God. That will not help. What about lot of work doing good to the world, making hospitals, schools, colleges, orphanages? Will that help in realization of the self? By that can I realize? Kurvantu karmani. That also will not finally help. That will not lead you there. Bhajantu devata. What about worshipping God with lots of flowers, sandal paste, garland, and lot of bhogas, chappan vyanjan, and we have met for God, and God, please take this. That also will not make you realize the truth. That will not take you to your real self. Then, how can I reach to real self? How can I be really free? How will I get mukti? Atmaikya bodhena. You have to find the unity of your Atma with the true self, identity with the Atma, realization of one's identity with the Atma. That I am that Atma. Unless you have that realization, there is no mukti. Others are not that they help. They help in mukti, getting mukti, serving. Doing good to others, worshipping God, sacrificing for God, studying scriptures, everything helps in the process to realize God, to realize the self. But that cannot lead us to the self. That is a process. That itself is not the realization. Realization is Atma Aikya Bodha. That I am one with Atma. That I am that Atma. With that only you can do. Otherwise you can Brahma Satantarepi. You can go on worshipping God in lifetime of 100 Brahmas put together. When is the lifetime of a Brahma? Brahmas, one day is the creation. Night time Brahma sleeps, whole creation, pralaya, all creation gone. That is one day of Brahma. How many they have calculated? Some 31,000 years or 300,000 years, something like that. Huge number when all ages are gone and there is big pralaya and whole world is diluted and all creation is gone. That is the night of Brahma. Brahma sleeps, no creation. Next day Brahma wakes up, again creation starts. Like that, Brahma is one day. And Brahma lives for 100 years. Like that one day. One cycle of creation, one day. Next cycle of creation, another day. Like that week, Brahma's month, Brahma's year, and Brahma's 100 years. 100 days and 365 days, and that is 1 year of Brahma. And like that, if the 100 years of Brahma, that will be Brahma Shatantarepi. When 100 years of Brahma also will not make you free unless you identify yourself with the Atma. When you know that you are Atma, you are not the body and mind complex, you are not this object that you perceive as body and mind, but you are the subject which is behind the perception of this body and mind and this whole world. You are the subject, you are the witness, you are the ever-present, unchanging reality, you are the pure consciousness, you are the existence itself. Unless we know that, there is no mukti. And what happens if there is no mukti? There will be coming and going. You will be born, then same cycle go on. You will be born, grow, get admission. Oh, difficult, this, that. Oh, that time was good. Next time, luckily we came. This time it's more hard. But again, we have to come in the hard time. Again, you are then in the easy time also. It's always hard for the person who does the thing. It is always there. So much competition for job now. We are not getting job. Earlier time, people passed and they got job. What about Swami Vivekananda? He was a few of the graduates of the time, undergrads in Calcutta. But he was searching from office to office, from door to door, no job. Of course, that was a divine plan, no doubt. It was God's plan. If he gets job and settles in like makes one family as his own, what about the whole world? He has to make the whole world his family. He has to work for the whole world, not for 1 or 2 or 5 persons. That was divine plan. But there was no job. That time also, Swami Vivekananda's time, when there is a handful of undergrads. That was the highest education, BA pass, that was the highest education. And that's how it's always the same difficulty. Problems are same, struggles are same. You find now there's so much of struggle to get job. Earlier it was so easy. Never it was easy. I've heard from senior people who said and came and said, Swamiji, 5 years, winter time, we always had to go by bus. There was no car. It was so cold. We all both used to work and it was difficult. I came at 35 years of age. I had a good job there, but I came to so difficult. Now they have car, they have house, they have children all doing wonderful jobs. Their life is good. So struggle everyone had to do. So it depends on the time. But that is coming and going. Now you need to struggle and you had job and nice retired life. But what after that? Again you will die and be born as a baby and then learn alphabet, go to school. You don't want to get up. Hey, get up, go to school. All this trouble when you are grow up. When this education, writing thesis, when will I finish? The guide is not favorable, this not. When I finish, that will be very easy. After that, no easy. That life itself, there are problems there. The guide was not easy, now colleague will not be easy, now boss will not be easy. Never it is smooth. Life is not made smooth for anyone. Life is always a struggle for everyone. Don't try to ever imagine life will be so full now, it will be all, no problem, all joy. Life is with joy, with problems. Life is in fact trying to overcome the problems with smiling face without getting disturbed. The challenge come, their challenges come. I have the quality, I have the intellect, I have the power, I have the strength, I have the grace of God to cross over that challenges. That is called life. That is called strength. So, to get mukti from this cycle, you have to understand that you are Atma, otherwise anything will not give you mukti. That's the view of Shankaracharya. Not that what he said doesn't help in progress, spiritual progress. Everything that is said, working for others, worshipping God, studying scriptures, all help in identification of the self, but only those who not do have to attempt to identify with the self. That's what Viveka Chudamoni says. Yes, yes, please. Truth, of course, is a perception. Truth is a perception we can lead. What Sri Ramakrishna said was, we can go up to a certain stage, and when we reach that stage, truth will reveal itself. So, and truth will be a perception by the pure mind, which goes through these things. That's a different kind of perception, not by this mind we have. In the process, the mind becomes pure, and that pure mind has the capacity to perceive the truth, which is called revelation. Not this impure mind will have it. That you can call perception, that you can call flash, that you can call revelation. Whatever is there, but definitely we can attain the truth by the grace of God. That's always said. What we can do is we can go up to the threshold of truth, threshold of God, and when we reach there, God will reveal by His grace. That's always it. Because God cannot be really realized through the word. Because God is something which is not produced by word. So we cannot really get God by word. That's why giving Ashwamedha Yajna, sacrificing lot of homa in homa, or doing lot of puja, chappan penjan, that will not make us realize God. That will make us closer to God. If we can do with love, with right attitude, we can go closer to God and wait for a vision. And like Ahalya Bai, you are waiting like somebody, you are waiting, and Rama will come one day. One day there will be flash of illumination. We all will become Buddha. We all have the same qualities like Buddha. And but we have to have that determination. I will realize the truth, and flash will come. And all sorrows will vanish, all doubts will vanish, and there will be from darkness, and we have breathed the light. Before that, you have to pray. Asatoma, Satkamaya, Tamosoma, Jyoti. Now, verse 11. How much work can take us? Shankaracharya says this. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu palabdhaye. Vastu siddhir vicharena na kinchit karma koti. Shankaracharya says that how much a work can lead us towards the truth, towards the realization of ourselves as the soul. He said, when we work, selfless work for others, it will help us in purifying our mind, but it will not lead us to the realization of truth. What the question was being asked by Manju is that this is the verse it is saying. Chittasya shuddhaye karma. Karma is for purification of the mind, but not for realization of the truth. Vastu is the truth. Natu vastu palabdhaye. Then how will vastu be obtained? Vastu siddhir vicharena. You can get vastu means that knowledge. Vastu is not some object here. Vastu is knowledge of identification ourselves with the Atma. Will come through vichara, with thinking, rational thinking, world is unreal, myself is real, my Atma is real. Always negate the world as something anatma. This body, mind, world, everything is anatma. What is Atma? The truth that is within me, immaterial, that is Atma. And think about that vichara. That's why vastu siddhir vicharena na kinchit karma koti bhi. You do 10 million works, tens of millions of works you perform, good works, hospitals, colleges, orphanages, roads, they used to plant the trees, and they used to make ponds for during winter time for cattle. Those are all good, but they will not lead you to realize God unless you do rational thinking about your own true self. That is the thought of Shankaracharya, thought of Jnana Yoga. But spiritual thought, according to Swami Vivekananda, is, and also according to Gita, is, if you are totally unselfish and dedicate your life for the good of others without thinking anything about yourself, without thinking anything of your gain, then finally truth will reveal to you even without vichara. Just selfless service. And it is that, to get that flash. Oh, that is the truth. I am the Atma will be revealed. When by doing selfless service, our ego is gone, then the truth will reveal. So the problem with ego is wrong perception of ourselves, thinking ourselves as this small body and mind, and forgetting our true nature, true self, infinite existence, infinite bliss, and having that I have this much love, this much knowledge. This is ego. Ego is downsizing our own selves. Ego is not inflation. But however you may inflate, you will be still lesser than what you really are, because you in your true nature are infinite in strength, in love, in knowledge. How much you will inflate? Oh, I have PhD, PhD, DSc degree, MPhil degree. That is nothing compared to the real knowledge that we have. Whatever you do, think yourself as, that is all ego. ego, and ego is listening yourself, making yourself small than what you are. So that ego can be erased and done with if you do selfless service also. But Shankara says you have to have that knowledge. And so Swami Vivekananda says, and Gita also said, Karmanai vahi samsiddhi astita janakadaya. Janakas have got all because of karma only. They have some siddhi, they have attained the siddhi, they have attained that final goal only by performing karma in the selfless spirit. So that is the view of Sri Ramakrishna Mission. Selfless action is very important spiritual practice, along with meditation, along with scripture study, and along with bhakti or devotion to God, and loving God's children. All are very important. What is the time now? 12:30. So we want to take a break now for nice lunch already come.